as I'm trying to explain to you, and like many researchers will try to speak to you, it's like there's a human slavery going on. All of our world is like that. It's a super zoo, which means that at a deeper level, everybody's been working due to conditioning. It's not genuinely because they're connected and inspired by Dharma itself and want to work because they're in the current of life which nourishes them, inspires them, and they're building something that is great. No, everybody's a slave working for a slave master, even though it's conditioned and conditioned. So that's all we know. So what do people really want to do? They want to be on vacation because for them work is slavery in one way or another. So they want to be on vacation where they don't do fuck all and get to enjoy the riches, which is what they see the so-called slave masters doing. Like, I don't know, they get to enjoy the good life. We also want that. Yep, but imagine now this is from a generation to the next and generation to the next. So work for you, you don't realize that this is not work, you're a slave. So you don't want to work. You want to be off. Because you actually think that off exists. Off is the opposite of slavery. Slavery, opposite of it is slave master doesn't do fuck all or runs the slave. So I want that. I want to enjoy. But I'll be honest with you, I've had some of that life. It's boring as fuck. It's as exhausting. Ask a rich person how exhausting it is to be a rich person. Every day you have to eat the best cakes. After all, the cakes is not good anymore. Every day you got to go to a party. The party is not, it's exhausting. It's an exhausting lifestyle. Just as much as slavery, just at a different level because it's empty. The lifestyle of a slave is empty. You derive no pleasure, no satisfaction from what you do because it's not connected to anything. The satisfaction of in having more pleasure and more pleasure, it's empty. These things are empty. It's on the back of other people and it's not connected to anything either. So it's like it's an endless quest for a form of pleasure that doesn't exist. How can you derive pleasure from chocolate? It's enjoyable for an instant, but that's it. Imagine the lifestyle of the rich and famous always trying to create the greatest next level of stimulation to get the next level of satisfaction or pleasure or joy or whatever the fuck. It's endlessly stimulating the nervous system, trying to extract from it another sensation, which is just the same as a slave. So they're both fucking slaves. Different levels of slavery. But slaves nevertheless. So if we go back to that, the slave over there that associates work with, I don't want to work and I want to be rich. They don't understand that that's the other side of the slavery. So that's what they want. I don't want to do fuck all. I want to have pleasure because my life has no pleasure. And when I see these cats who are rich, they all only have pleasure. They have the best sex. They have the best outfits. It's all pleasure and pleasure and pleasure. I want that because that's life. They don't realize that that's empty either. So to answer the question, which was, well, why are people having such a hard time? They don't want to work as we had defined work in a previous flow just before. Work equals prayer, equals power, equals generation, equals responsibility, which means connection to the vertical and expression in the horizontal, because they don't know any of that. They've never known this. And the versions from before that kind of mimic this, it wasn't authentic. It was, the church isn't connected to God, or it's connected to something, but it's certainly not connected to the one most high, the absolute. Of course not. But it's connected to something, and you it's bitch, and you it's slave. Now I gave you the impression, and that mental conditioning may have given you a sense of purpose, but at a deeper level, come on, because it's not true. No disrespect, but it's just not true. So how far down in the past must you go? So some people who believe in the yugas, the different ages, will say, well, once upon a time, the Treta Yuga, meaning the golden age or silver age, God on earth was there, Ramachandra was there, meaning the pure king, which is God on earth, and all were living in alignment with God. And once, okay, let's pretend it's this. Well, look how far we are. Let's pretend this is true. I'm not saying it's true or untrue. I'm just saying let's pretend. Well, look how far we are today. Let's be honest. So this is total slavery. There's right? And in people's mind, slavery is work and freedom is no work. This is because they're conditioned. They don't know what work is. Work is service and service is bliss. It means you're in the current of power, and the power expresses itself through you. You connect. That means when we say work is prayer, it means life is passing through you to express its service to life, to humanity, to nature. So that means you're fucking high as you can get without being on drugs. Because the power of life is passing through you, using you. That's all you need. And you get to be in a flow. And ideas and creative genius potentials that you cannot fathom will come through to you because of you're connected to that life force, which is using and making the best use of you. Like you're like God is fucking you, in other words. What do you want more?